guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're here, it's because you are looking for 2-week wait symptoms. Today I'm going to be talking about my symptoms and how I felt from ovulation day to when I got my positive pregnancy test. Today is December 22nd, hence the Christmas tree in the background. What a great backdrop. And today I am 4 weeks and 2 days pregnant, so I'm still super duper early. Obviously, when you guys are going to be seeing this, it is going to be later on, and I will have a pregnancy announcement video up before that, and I will be further along, universe willing, you know. But today I am 4 weeks. So I was using the Avia. Is this one the Avia? What is this one? No, this one is Glow. I was using the Glow app, and here it just says that I'm pregnant, so it's not counting down. And I was also using the Ovia app, or Avia. I used both of these apps to track my period and track my cycles before the whole time between when I had my last daughter, Mia, to when I got pregnant now, just to track my cycles. I wasn't taking any form of birth control in the past 3 years since I had my daughter. She's 3. I have one daughter who is 6, turning 7 this year, and Mia just turned 3 this year. So I wasn't taking any kind of birth control after Mia, so I track my cycles. In the Glow app, there are lots of spots to track your symptoms. Sorry, I have a horrible cold, and I don't know if it's pregnancy related or if it's just bad timing that I actually ended up getting sick right before I got my positive pregnancy test, but I'll get into that. I ovulated December 5th. So then we head into the 2-week wait. During this time, I had a lot of cramping on my right side, but it wasn't like a period cramp. The only way I could describe it as was that it is like a pinching, like pulling type of cramp. So it was kind of like, felt like this, like if you could imagine what that would feel like, that's what it felt like. And I knew I had ovulated from my right side, so I just felt like that was like something, either like my fallopian tube or something like working and doing what it needed to do. And then the first time that I tracked symptoms was December 10th. So that is for DPO, and DPO stands for days past ovulation. That is when symptoms really kind of started to happen for me. Like, besides just the cramping, I just like felt different. And then I knew from the beginning, like I put it out into the universe. I was like, this is it. We were following the Chinese gender calendar, and this is the month for a boy, and it is one of the last months for a boy for my lunar age. I was like, this is it. This is happening. It's gonna be this month. I put it out into the universe. Between the 10th, I should have organized these better. Then I thought keeping them in the app would be a good way to like refer back to it, but it's more difficult, so bear with me. So the 10th, I had cramps, and then I also wrote that I had creamy CM, cervical mucus. It's gross, but if you're here, you're trying to get pregnant, and pregnancy is gross, okay? So that's just what it is. So that is when I noticed that, which is still, that's pretty typical for me, even if I'm not pregnant. Like, there's a lot of things like between that time frame, so that wasn't like a big indicator for me yet. And now the 11th, I still said that it was creamy CM. Going on to the 12th, which is 4, 5, 6 DPO. This is when I was like, okay, something's going on. I was in the shower, got out of the shower, went to put lotion on my face, and I was like, did I wash the face wash off my face in the shower? Like, I literally could not remember if I washed the soap off my face or not. And I was like, I'm sometimes scatterbrained, but not that, like, that I can't remember something that happened 4 seconds ago. So that was one of the first things that I was like, okay, do I already have pregnancy brain? Like, is this happening already? For me, this will be my 3rd pregnancy, so I know my body, like, is just gonna snap right back into it because they're like, okay, we're locked and loaded, ready to go. I know what I'm doing. And then I also wrote that I had bloating and I didn't have much CM. It like kind of went away for a while, which that was unusual for me because I usually like keep having CM all the way up until I get my period. And then the 13th, which was a Friday, and that was 7 DPO. So that's when I started testing, because with the Amazon box of OPK strips that I bought, it came with a bunch of pregnancy tests. So I was like, I'm gonna test because this is happening this cycle and I wanna catch it like the second it happens. With my other 2 pregnancies, I didn't get a positive pregnancy test until like 12 DPO. But I also, I was using like the blue strip tests, like the ones, like the off-brand ones. So on 7 DPO, I wrote that I had a negative pregnancy test, I had more creamy CM, I had a headache, and I started to get sick this day. This is when I really started to get sick. I had pelvic pain and diarrhea. So I don't know if that was related to being sick or not. This day, I really started to feel like I was coming down with like a really, really bad cold all day. I could just feel it coming, and it was like, you know, when you know you're about to get sick. So I was like, I don't know what I can take, if I should take anything. I called the doctor and I was like, I might be pregnant, so what should I not take? And they were like, I don't know what to tell you, girl. So I kind of just suffered through it. I never had a fever, thankfully. But I still don't know if like I'm hanging on to this cold because I'm pregnant, or if it was just really bad timing. Now the next day I wrote that I was sick, and now this day was when constipation started and I wasn't able to go to the bathroom for like days and days and days, which is also a strange thing for me because when I get my period, like leading up to it, you know, you get cramps, you gotta go to the bathroom, the whole 9. And I was burping all day. I was burping, I had gas, I was burping, I just couldn't stop. It was like every time I moved, I was like something came up. And I wrote that I was sick AF. So that's true. I was still getting negative pregnancy tests at this point. Now we are like 8, 9 DPO here. I still had pelvic pain, and the pelvic pain I had, it was still that like pinchy, pulley feeling. It felt like, a lot of people say this, but like my uterus felt heavy. It felt like full, like there was just something going on in there. Lots of like grabbing. Sometimes it would feel like almost like a scratching, like that kind of feel, but it mostly was on my right side still sick AF. So the next day I noticed, this was another thing for me, and I remember Kim Kardashian saying this when she was pregnant with one of her kids, that one of her first signs was you could see the veins in her breasts. Oh, I hate the word breasts, I'm just gonna say boobs, okay? Boobs. You could see the veins in her boobs, and I noticed that when I was in the shower, and with my last pregnancy with my youngest daughter, I had that too. Sorry, everybody just came home. So now we're at 10 DPO. And on 10 DPO in the morning, I took one pregnancy test and it said negative. And I just knew this day, I was like, no, I for sure am. I just know it. I still had that tugging feeling. I had the veins that you could see in my boobs. I was still pretty sick at this point. I had a really bad cold. And then in the afternoon when I got home from work, I took another test and it was like so faint. You could barely see it. Once it dried, you could see it. I'm gonna pull the picture up here. So here is you can barely see it there. But in person, I could just make out a line. Once it dried, you could really see it. So the following day was 11 DPO, and I took a first response test, and that came back very positive, clearly. And I also took a digital clear blue that came back pregnant. So basically it was 11 DPO that I got the real positive that showed it. Up until then, it was just like an inkling, and 11 DPO is still super duper early to be getting a positive pregnancy test. Most people don't get them until 12, 13, 14, 15 DPO. So if you're only 11 and it's still negative, you still have a chance. Like they say in all the groups, you're not out until AF, Ant Flow, shows. So basically my main symptoms were the cramping that I had. It was very consistent. It wasn't like super painful, but it was like coming and going, and it was noticeable. I don't know if being sick or not is a symptom, but I am. So there's that. And then let's see, so the cramping, tugging, pinching, pulling feeling, veins in my boobs, you could see them. And then once I got the positive pregnancy test, I started to notice more bloating. My boobs started to get sore. My nipples started to get like all weird. Like I said to my husband, I was like, I feel like they can like sense the weather. Like they're so sensitive that like if the wind blows and I'm inside, I'm like, oh my God, is the wind blowing? Like they're just, it's crazy. But that's all the symptoms I have right now. Especially if it is your first pregnancy, you may not get symptoms until you're a little bit later on. I don't know if it's because this is my third that this is why I got so many symptoms, but I know that previous months I watched so many of these videos that like my YouTube suggestions is all 2-week wait videos. So I knew when I did get one, I would have to give my symptoms too, because there's just so many different symptoms that you can have before a test. And there was one video I watched, I don't remember who it was, but that was the one that I was like, okay, same girl, I feel the same. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. That is the symptoms that I had during my 2-week wait. Let me know down below if you are in your 2-week wait, and baby dust to all of you that are trying to get pregnant. I hope you get your positives soon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.